Alright, so here I am. I'm out in the freezing cold today to bring you a Ruger Mark III field strip video. This video will serve as a Mark II or Mark I field strip video as well. There are certain things that you don't need to worry about when field stripping the 1 and the 2. That being the magazine disconnect, which is one of the tricks for field stripping this pistol. You have to insert and remove the magazine at certain points to get this job done with a Mark III. Mark I and II, you don't even need the magazine to field strip them. Okay, so most of the videos on the internet show one trick to disassembling this or no tricks to disassembling this, and there are a couple tricks to field stripping the Mark pistols, and I'm going to try to show you all of them in detail, making this the best field strip video for a Mark pistol on the internet. Yes, I know it's a Ruger pistol, but it's a Mark series. Okay, so here goes nothing. By the way, this video is completely unrehearsed, so fuck off if you don't like it. First things first, for safety guys out there, we have an empty magazine. Clear chamber. Once again, clear chamber. First things first, dry fire the pistol. Leave it in the fire position. Remove your magazine. Set that aside. We're going to need that later on. Now, these can be very tight pistols. Mine was very tight when I got it, and I'm not even going to tell you how long it took me the first time to disassemble and reassemble this thing. But I didn't know the tricks, and now I do. Some of you might want to use a paper clip to get in here and get a hold of the little mainspring assembly doohickey here, which you need to pull out. I can get mine out without one, so you get your finger under there and pop that guy out. Ooh wee. Yikes. Go ahead and pull that all the way down, and this guy will swing out. Fold it in right now. For one reason, so you don't scratch the pistol with it. Another reason, you don't stab a hole in your hand with it. Fold her in, okay? Now what you're going to want to do is pull this straight down and out through the bolt and the frame of the pistol. These can be very tight, but I assure you, if you've done what I've showed you so far, it will come out. You may be able to tap this with maybe a plastic mallet or a little rubber mallet if you need to. Mine will come out by hand. It's still pretty tight and tough, but ooh, not today it ain't. Draw that out. Pull him out. There you go. Be careful not to lose any retention pins on these things. Do this in an area where you know you're not going to lose anything. If it's in a little corner or something, because those little pins can come out. Okay, set him aside. Alright. And now we want to pull the bolt out. Now it may or may not come right out. In this case, good, it's not coming right out, because then I can show you how to remedy that. Reason being, it's hanging up on the hammer. The hammer inside here. It's right down in there. And he's all the way forward. We need to get him to lay down. So what I do is I'll tap the pistol down like this. Or is it like this? That may have been it. Now let's try to draw him out. Okay. Here you go. Here's one of the little reasons. Good, you're going to get to see it all. Okay, there's something called the hammer strut in here. Alright, the hammer strut is deep down in there, and it'll swing around, it'll swing freely. You can see it, it's like a little black post that swings from the hammer. Man, I hope this camera can pick this up. Well, he's down in here, and it's a thin little post, and it hangs up on this little crossbar here. Sometimes it'll get behind it and it'll hang up on it. If you see that, that's why it won't come out. So what you want to do is you want to get up in there and push the hammer forward. And you can see the hammer strut is swinging from the hammer. So push that hammer all the way forward. There it goes. I felt it go all the way forward. And now the hammer strut will swing free. He'll swing about in there. You want him from out behind that little crossbar in the frame. Okay? So I got it to swing out from behind there. It's resting up in there. Now the bolt will come out. Okay? You can look up a parts diagram for this pistol too. For any of the terms that I use, you can see the parts and such. Just Google images, do Ruger Mark III parts diagram. You'll see there's tons of them. Be careful not to lose the recoil spring here in the bolt, because that can shift off to the side and shoot across the room, and it's gone. Also, there is a pin there in the bolt that you don't want to lose, that can come loose. Set the bolt aside. Okay, and now we can remove the barrel, and I call it the receiver because it's all in one. We want to tap that off with a rubber or a plastic mallet. So I'm going to put him on my lap to do this. It's much easier than doing it in front of the camera in this little limited space I have. But I'm just going to give that a whack, and it'll knock loose from the frame. There we go. And now we have the frame and the barrel lug receiver, whatever you call it. So this is the basic field strip. You don't really need to go any farther than this. We have our 5 parts. Frame, bolt assembly, barrel receiver, mainspring, and your magazine. Okay, now we're going to reassemble this puppy. Here comes a bunch of the tricks. So first, there's our hammer. This is the guy that can get in the way when you're trying to take the barrel and such off, or the bolt out. Okay? You want him down to reassemble. Okay? And once again, if you can see in there good, hopefully you can see that hammer strut. See him swing about in there. There he is. Right there. That doohickey right there. That's the little bastard that causes all this trouble. So, okay, we've got him where he's not hung up behind there because we've got the hammer down in place. So go ahead, put your barrel lug back on, and you mate this right here with this spot right here. It'll hook into there. You'll see. when you're looking at it. Set it in there so that this sits down flush, and then you're going to want to hit the top of the pistol with your mallet again to knock it down into place. But first, whoops, this is tricky when you're looking through the camera and trying to see what you're doing. Hope you guys appreciate this. Make sure you line the frame lines horizontally with the back of the barrel receiver horizontally. Line them up nice and even, okay? Make sure they're lined up nice and even before you drive this home. Now, I'm going to put it in my lap again, and I'm going to whack the top of the muzzle to knock this sucker back into place on the frame. Alright, it's lined up good and even. Here we go. One good strike should do it. You want to make sure it's seated well, so I'm going to go ahead and tap it again. Okay. Now, as you can see, it'll hang over a tad from the frame. Just a bit. You can see that. See how it hangs out? That's how you want it. Okay, on with the show. Now we can reinsert our bolt. Take a look in there, make sure that hammer's still down. It is. Okay. Take a look, our hammer strut's okay, it's not stuck behind there or anything. Go ahead and reinsert this guy. Just wiggling back and forth a little bit, it'll go right in. All the way flush so that you can see through the bolt, through the frame, right out the bottom of the grip. Make sure that stays seated like that. Okay? When you try to reinsert this guy. Now, here's one of the key tricks. Push your hammer all the way forward back up into the bolt. Let's go ahead and use your mainspring and stick him up in there and just push that hammer all the way forward. There we go. Hammer all the way forward up into the bolt. And now our hammer struts is swinging free in there. Okay? Now what you want to do next, this is always the tricky part, okay? You want that hammer strut, the tip of that hammer strut to rest right in here. Right in there. There's a little indent right there. And that's where you want it to come to rest. The trick to getting this to happen is, number one, pushing that hammer all the way up into the bolt like I showed you. Okay? So let's go ahead on with the show. We'll insert mainspring into place. Put it back up through the frame, through the bolt. Remember where I said make sure that's flush or it won't go up in there. Okay. This can be really tough too, but if you've followed me so far, it should be alright. Let's go ahead and just shove him in there. I wiggle mine back and forth a little bit. There it goes. I kind of wiggle it side to side a little bit and push in at the same time, maybe forward and backward a little bit, and it should work its way in there a lot easier. If you don't wiggle it, it might be really tough to get in. So I got it in, but it's not all the way. Make sure it's all the way. Push it all the way up. Drive it through there. These can be really tight. You'll hear it and feel it. There it goes. Man, it takes some force. I'm telling you. You won't break her. Okay, here's the trick to getting it closed back up. 2 tricks. Make sure that hammer strut is going to go into the right place. And the way by doing that, here's where you need to reinsert your magazine. Okay? Insert the magazine. Otherwise, this guy, look, he won't close down. He won't fold down. Okay? This is the part where you can flip this guy back out. I'll do it in a second here. Okay. Watch what happens now. Here's your trick. Pull the trigger. Whoop. Whoop. Look at that. It just folded down for me. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold it out. That's one of your main tricks there that you can't forget. Alright. Got that guy open. Now we need to get that hammer strut to fall right into place in the mainspring housing there. And the way to do that is to look in there. I can see that he's fallen behind that little crossbar. There we go. I got him to fall forward. I got him to fall forward onto the mainspring right there, if you can see. Now I want to close it up a little bit. Close it up a little bit. I got to try to get this all on camera, and then make it fall onto the mainspring, and it'll fall. It'll position itself right in that groove. You got to get it to go into that groove, and there we go. Look, she's closing up. And there's a little bit of tension there at that last spot. Okay. Push her down flush, and then fold it closed. There you go. She's back together. Readjust the camera here. Shit. Hope this video turns out good, because we captured all the little tricks and everything to putting this pistol back together and taking her apart. Now, function test. It'll be hard for me. It is on mine. I imagine they're all like that. It's hard to pull the bolt back the first time. It resists a bit. There we go. She's locked back. Drop her forward. Dry fire. Remove the mag. Cycle. And that's a field strip of the Mark III pistol. There you have it. All the little tricks on camera for you. If you liked the video, thumbs up. Comments, questions are welcome. I'll do all I can to answer them. But hopefully, I've given you all the tools in this video.